AstraZeneca has yet to respond to a letter from the European Union about the COVID vaccine supply under contract and has missed the deadline to do so by Brussels, with a leading minister warning the case could be ended in court. The European Union and Anglo-Saxon vaccine manufacturers were concerned about the delivery of COVID injections after the pharmaceutical company shipped significantly fewer shots than previously agreed. Under the contract, the 27 EU member states are expected to receive 120 million doses of vaccine by the end of last month from AstraZeneca, but the company only supplies a quarter of which 30.12 million doses. The contract between the two parties also states that if there is a dispute, one of the parties will raise the matter by a letter. Then, after 20 days from the date of written notice, they will meet and try to resolve the dispute by good faith negotiation. EU Head of Health and Food Safety DG Sandra Gaina sent a letter to AstraZeneca on March 19. AstraZeneca has breached and continues to breach its contractual obligations on the production and supply of the initial 300 million doses for Europe. Brussels had asked AstraZeneca to remedy the material breaches of contract within 20 days of the letter, but added the deadline for this came and went on Friday without any reply from the company, according to the report. A European Commission spokesman confirmed Brussels had sent a letter to AstraZeneca on March 19, describing it a notice for dispute settlement, and said this would be the first step towards trying to resolve the ongoing dispute. The spokesman said, "At this stage we are still waiting for the necessary elements. We remain in contact with AstraZeneca to ensure timely delivery of a sufficient number of doses," the spokesman told Reuters without elaborating. France's European Affairs Minister Clément Beaune, a continued critic of AstraZeneca in the vaccine supply row, again lashed out at the pharmaceutical company for mocking us Europeans. He said, "Manifestly, they, AstraZeneca, did not honor their commitments and thus, in a certain way, they were mocking us Europeans." Mr. Beaune also warned the EU letter to AstraZeneca could even lead to a battle in court. It is the beginning of a possible judicial procedure if the company doesn't fix things. The minister added putting pressure on AstraZeneca to ramp up production of vaccines in Europe appeared to be the preferred option as opposed to starting a legal process. The EU's vaccine rollout has stumbled from one disaster to the next, and has found itself lumbering behind several other nations, including Britain following its departure from the bloc at the end of last year. Several EU member states are desperately trying to fight back against a third wave of COVID, with infections surging throughout much of the continent. France is one of the countries to be hit hardest, with President Emmanuel Macron last month placing the country back into a 4-week nation lockdown. Both the European Medicines Agency, EMA, and World Health Organization, WHO, insisted the jab was safe to administer, leading countries to resume its use, but some have still only limited it to certain age groups.